Strategy is overrated in League of Legends. It's a cool part of the game, but there's another cool part called beating people's ass. If you need to start dominating on the Rift to make up for other things in your life, then I'm your guy. League players are professionals at dodging every fucking lobby so I can never get into a game within 10 minutes. What we should actually be professional at is dodging abilities. Matchups, tier lists, having hope that something will come of your life. None of this matters if you're getting hit by every ability. One of the best ways to start outplaying opponents and consistently getting leads for yourself is to get good at dodging abilities. Step 1. Look at the enemy champion. Yes, instead of impersonating Helen Keller every game, you need to open your eyes and look at what's on your screen. Our thought process should be, what champion is this? How do they kill me? What are the character's key abilities? For example, we're not scared of any part of Blitzcrank's kit other than his hook most of the time. If you're not sure what their key abilities are, it's usually the one they max. If you're still not sure, then it's time to head into Practice Tool and learn what the character does so you can have some semblance of an idea what to do when you face them. Some characters' key ability is their auto attack. Yes, I know autos technically aren't abilities, but if it's their primary source of threat, then just work with me on this. Most ADCs and other auto attackers like Tryndamere fall into this category. After thinking about the champion and their threats, think about what the best dodge path is to avoid it. This will fall into one of the following categories. Horizontal. The vast majority of abilities in League are dodged this way. Any hook, Morgana Q, Ezreal ult, all of these you dodge by moving horizontally when you're in its range. Vertical. Some abilities fall into this category, like Darius Q or Camille W for example. You can also dodge any non-global ability or auto attack this way when you're at the edge of its range. But Meeslaw, my favorite YouTuber, the person that I admire so much, I thought you can't dodge auto attacks. Technically we're not dodging, but we're spacing. Spacing is when you use vertical movement to maintain enough space between you and your opponent's damage range. Say for auto attackers, if you stand right outside of their attack range, then they can never hit you. Omnidirectional. Some abilities, like circular skill shots, can be dodged in any direction. It's like Karthus Q, Zerathal, or Swain W. It's super important to think about the champion, how they damage you, and the best dodge path ahead of time so we're mentally primed to react to it faster when the moment comes. Another component that helps us react is anticipation. No amount of information about dodging abilities matters if we're not actively trying to anticipate what our opponent is going to do. There's just too little time to react if we're not ready to do so. A super helpful tip I heard from the Broken by Concept podcast is to put yourself in your opponent's shoes. What would you do right now if you were them? What's your best response if they do that? Let's think about an example. You're Twitch versus Ashe. Both of you are level 6 and have flash up. You want to engage on her with ult. What will she do in response? Regardless of whether she fights or runs, she is going to need to land her ult to have a chance. What's our best response if she does this? We can flash her ult to guarantee it won't hit. The benefit of this plan is Twitch will out-damage Ashe if she misses ult, so the worst case scenario is we land some free damage even if she flashes away. Do not flash preemptively. This is a common mistake. We get antsy and flash preemptively, which gives room for getting outplayed. The benefit of anticipation is when we're making plans or just want to be aware of the opponent's options. However, anticipation isn't everything. While thinking ahead about what we're going to do helps us prepare to react, we also have to think, what are they trying to do right now? Body language is a thing in League of Legends. While I have trouble reading it in real life, it's much easier and better to do in game. To read in-game body language, pay attention to how the opponent is moving and positioned. The most important type to look out for by far is aggression. The opponent running towards you, behind you, or generally being in your face can all indicate this. When you see these warnings, know something is coming and figure out what it is. Think about what ability you need to avoid the most. Sometimes the threat isn't just from what's on your screen. Aggressive movement can also show that you're getting ganked. Passive movement shows that you're either safe or that they just don't want to fight. Generally, standing far away, running away, or juking a lot trying to dodge indicates passivity. It's worth noting that people can fall somewhere in the middle as well. If they are standing close enough to go in if they want, while not engaging, this is a little harder to read. This often happens when the matchup is even or volatile. While enemy body language can be a great indicator of what they're doing, sudden changes in body language should really set off all your alarm bells. For example, if your opponent is playing very scared the whole lane and suddenly starts running right at you, you're probably getting ganked. Basically, pay attention to the pattern of how your opponent plays. If it gets broken, something is almost always up. So far, everything has been information for helping you be more ready to react to skill shots. How do you actually dodge though? Visual focus needs to be on the enemy champion. It doesn't matter if you're looking directly or out of the corner of your eye, you've just got to be watching. Watch for the animation. Every ability and auto attack has a unique animation that plays before it's cast. Watching for this gives you way more time to react. Juke according to time. You want to juke differently depending on how much time you have to dodge. For example, if you're max distance from a Morgana Q, you have plenty of time to react compared to being in melee range. Along the same note, some abilities have a long windup and are more dodgeable because of that. If you do have time to react, watch closely during the cast animation to see what direction the skill shot comes out and dodge accordingly. Technically, you could just juke as soon as the animation starts and then correct it if you're wrong, but this makes our movement less efficient. In some situations, like when trying to escape, inefficient movement alone will kill you. If you have little time to react, predict where to juke and do as soon as you see the animation start. Good form with this can help you avoid a lot of skill shots, but I will say this is not foolproof. If they predict you, you have no time to react. Clean movement is essential. There's little margin for error in League. Walking in a precise vertical or horizontal line will often be the difference between life and death. In most cases, avoid diagonal movement. Do not try to juke before seeing the animation. This will make you an easy kill most of the time. Your opponent can see you're juking, hold their skill shot, and use that time to close the gap or out DPS you. With this being said, in some niche situations, you don't have time to react to animation even. If this is the case, good luck with your predictions. Be hard to hit. Much like in shooter games, standing still or walking in a straight line in general makes us an easy target to hit. We can work on dodging all we want, but sometimes we'll lose focus and need good movement as a default to help. Otherwise, opponents can just see where we are, line up a shot, and aim it perfectly in the center of our character model. Here's how to make yourself harder to hit. Never stand still. Short strides. Clicking fast and close to your character model allows you to change directions quickly, precisely, and randomly. The character model is very hard to read when you click fast back and forth. This is also relevant for when we juke. Clicking fast makes you move faster and more accurately. Long strides. Smooth movement in a longer line allows you to move the fastest, which can also make you harder to hit. This allows you to cover more distance and reposition, but still click fast and close to your character. Using a combination of short and long strides, we need to create a random movement pattern when in proximity to enemies, much like strafing in a shooter. This should be our default movement because it makes it harder for your opponent to aim abilities correctly and read what you're doing. Here's some general principles I want to emphasize. Precision matters a lot. We click so much in League that it's easy to get lazy or put little thought into it. It actually matters a ton that you put effort into clicking accurately. High quality clicks makes it far more seamless to have the character move exactly how your brain expects it to. Mouseaccuracy.com or other mouse training games help a lot with this. I'm also a nerd and find them fun. Practice matters a lot. We only get so many opportunities to practice dodging skill shots in a League game. LoL Dodge Game is a tool designed specifically to help practice dodging skill shots and is a great way to do so. ARAM can also be a great way to practice this if you go into it with the specific goal in mind to practice dodging. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, I would really appreciate if you subscribe and leave a comment. Have a great day.